Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again, going to be continuing a single player playthrough on the 1.1 experimental branch. Still enjoying these new intros and stuff like that. It's going to be a little more commonplace, it looks like, so it seems pretty good. So if you weren't here last time, we had finished up the rotor factory. Got all the machines in place, got all the belts in place, got everything in place that we needed so that we can continue on. So that factory is 100% complete. And today's plan is going to be moving on into the rotor factory, or the motor factory, not rotor, motor. Yeah. So into the motor factory is what we're going to be dealing with. So it's going to be over there on the other end of the desert cliffs, I guess you could say. Going off of the one rail that goes up to the mall. That's where we're going to be starting. So let's go ahead and get back to the game here. Alrighty. So, yes, got a lot to do today. Got to come up with a factory build design. Got to figure out how many motors we're going to be making. All that kind of stuff is going to happen. Alrighty. So yeah, it's going to be over there, on the other side of the spiral. We're going to make our way over there and get this factory started. So motor factory, that's the last portion, right, of our thing before modular engines. So we will have we'll have 2 out of the 4. We'll be halfway to making modular engines. Yes, we're in phase 4, sure, but yeah, getting all these earlier factories up and going as well. These are the factories that need the most amount of attention. Or that needed the most amount of attention early on, and I just never got around to it. So now we're having to suffer going back through the earlier factories to get these factories done. Now, what I am hoping that we will get this motor factory done this week, so that next week we can start on the next set of factories. So next week, I believe my plan is going to be doing some of the factories that make the project parts for phase 1 and 2, which is going to be the smart plating, the versatile frameworks, and the modular engines, the adaptive control units. Or maybe not the adaptive control units, but definitely the modular engines we need to get. For that, we need the smart plating, we need the versatile framing, the automated wiring as well. So those 3 project parts, I do believe we wanted to do those in the northern forest. Get those factories out of the way. I mean, there's plenty of space out there, so plenty of space out in the northern forest to do those particular project parts. Anyway, here we are. So this is going to be the motor factory. So we're going to have 3 train stations up here, of course. We're going to have the 2 train stations bringing in materials, which is going to be the motor, or the rotors and the stators. So that's the whole reason for those 2 factories. And up here, this is going to be the train station platform, if we can fit it up here. We may end up having to put it even further up here and then put the factory here. But basically, my plan would be to put the train stations here. Damn, this rock. And then put the actual factory down there. That way, the 2 train stations, that one and that one, for those 2 factories, let's see, can then end up taking that big spiral, and then they'll make their way over here, and then this train line up here near the mall will actually get used. It'll be nice to have this kind of stuff. working. It'd be nice to put the motor factory over here, but there's not a whole lot of room. Plus, you got this big. If this big archway wasn't here, absolutely. Put them, put that there, and then that could be like part of the factory and stuff like that. I actually don't have this hooked up. It's just there for fun. But yeah, if we put the train stations up here, which, in my opinion, is the best option. If not, well, I guess we could swap it. We could have the train stations down there and then go from this particular train line. Have it go, how would we make that work? We could, yeah, we could tee off of this particular junction right here, or this particular little curve. Tee off into the middle, and then come out and then go underneath the curve here. There's not a whole lot of room. We'll have to make space, but go underneath here, go across the gap, spiral down into the train stations, and then the train stations can feed the factory up there. But I do want to first try out putting the train stations up there first. I already said that, but but yeah, even though these factories are really close, the train the train line that they need to take is going to be a decent distance away, so that's a lot of spirals. Yeah, I just think I just think the factory being down here would be really cool, because then when you come up on this, oh jeez, I was not gonna make that. I was not paying attention. Can I even get back up there? I don't know if we're close enough. Yeah, we're close enough. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, let me try putting the train stations up here. If that fails, then yeah, down there will have to be the train stations. But either way, that particular spot right there is going to tee off. There's going to be a T section there. If they do end up over here, the train line for that is going to end up having to come all the way over here and probably go underneath maybe this section, or not this section, but this section here. Either of those two sections would work to bring the train. Probably this section here to get into the very end of it. So then we've got that. Yeah, I just don't know if the train station's going to fit up here. But I'm going to try. I'm definitely going to try. So let me let's get these train stations down, and then we can work on coming up with the design for the motor factory. I have a little bit of an idea in mind, using the rounded, or using the, you know how we did the rods over there, the rod factory. I want to do that, but on a bigger scale with the bigger beams, or the bigger pillars. I mean, using the big pillars to make basically a rounded factory, but put it on its side, just like a motor factory would be. And then have like a little square base in the bottom of it. That'd be pretty cool. Well, it's either that, or we don't have the train stations separate. We have the train stations in the bottom of the factory. That'd be pretty cool too. That'd be the only other way. Yeah, if we put the train stations down here with that factory, we'll have to put it in that orientation right there, because they're not going to fit 3 wide. 3 wide is pretty damn wide. If you go 3 train stations wide, you have to have 15 foundations, I believe it is. Need some concrete. Yeah, we'll be using the concrete. Yeah, I might put the train stations down here. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it again. Like bring the train line down here, have the train stations down here, and then have the factory have the factory on top of the train stations. We've done that before. That definitely could work. And then yeah, that'll work that. And I'm pretty sure that they're not going to go. The trains aren't going to go all the way down to the desert canyon, all the way out that way, and then come back around just to get on this train line. The two trains are going to take that spiral to get up here, and then when they go back to the mall, they got to go around the mall and then go down the spiral. So it'll be interesting to see which paths they take. But yeah, so let me get a platform down and get our train stations down. I might even just connect up the train lines as well, so we have power, and then we'll start working on a design for it. I think that'll be, yeah, because this definitely ain't gonna fit now that I think about it. Let's see. I just want to give it a shot. We'll give it a quick try. So let's say right there, and then we'll go up a foundation to get up over top of everything. Yeah, 15 barely fits. And the train stations would fit, but then the train lines wouldn't fit. For the train stations, you're going to need... okay, so if you got a 5-car train, so that's 12 foundations, isn't it? Because you got the train station as well. So you got six pieces times 2, that's 12. 12 plus 3, that's 15. 15 plus another 3, so that's 18. And let's see if 18 would even fit up here. There's 10. Ideally, you'd want 20. If we turn it, it won't fit because the train line's right there. I just want to see if this will even work. Or would this even work even? Something like that. So that's where we put the first train station. So we can't go there, so we go there. So then there's the third one. Yeah, if you rotated it, the train stations would be right up against it. They would fit. They would definitely fit, just barely. But they would fit up here. Ooh. Okay, so let me leave those there, and let me put the train stations down here like we had just were talking about. And I'm kind of, at least I have a decision to make. Usually it's a try and put it down somewhere and then go, nope, that's not going to fit, and then have to find somewhere else. But now that I've actually got a bit of a choice, I'm going to put the train stations down here. And we might even be able to fit them 3 wide. Be able to fit them 3 wide like that. But I think I'm going to go for the 2, because I want the longer base. Do that. Yes. Okay. So let me get those train stations down here, and then we'll decide which is better. Alrighty then, and after a little bit of time, and by that I mean a lot of time, I have finally got the train stations where they needed to be. I did try and put them down there. Unfortunately, we were not going to fit. We were going to end up basically spilling over the sides of the cliffs. There we go. Sorry. Brain's like, nope. But yeah, we did manage to get all of that done as well. So, you know, I mean, I know there's nothing here, but the motor factory is going to go here. It's just, yeah, couldn't fit the train stations down there. I did try. It just was not going to happen. So I went ahead and put the T-junction here anyway. Ran the belt all the way up this way, up this cliff here. We went straight and then up. I didn't want to go too high, so got a nice little 1 meter incline and then around the corner. And I did have to pull out one of the supports for the other track, but we do go underneath this, and we should fit perfectly. Yep, fit very nicely. Going underneath, and we've got the 3 train stations here. We've got the motors. You got the stator import, the rotor import, and then the motor factory export as well. So the reason it has the yellow is because there's a big old yellow sticker on the on the motors. So that's why I colored it that way. Plus the motors are a bit more blue than the rest of it, but that does work. So yes, that'll be very, very nice when we finally get that done. Now I did have to smash these together, unfortunately, just because of just the spacing here. As you can see, I am right up against the train line. Now the cool thing is this train actually does miss the train station, so when it's going up this hill, it'll miss the train station, which is also very good. And then we've also got that as well. So this is all done in setup pretty much. Now the export, the import, the stuff importing is going to be easy to belt over. The export, however, is not. Actually, no, the export isn't, as because the export will have to go all the way this way first, and then go through our train stations. That's okay. But let's go organization, just so I don't forget this. Let's go organization, and we'll put a couple of uploaders. We'll have to put these uploaders a bit closer than normal. If I can fit it, no, I'm not going to be able to fit it there. Oh no, I can fit it here. Okay, it just looked like I couldn't. Alright, since I still have those colors. There we go. Use the straight mode. We could use the curve mode. Nah, curve mode doesn't. Sometimes the curve mode just doesn't want to work. I don't understand. It's trying to make a perfect curve out of it, but it's not wanting to work. Okay, so then we'll go just sticks. Paint those. Yep, and we'll just connect the entire train station together. Looks like I'm gonna have a crash soon. You can always tell when you're gonna have a crash recently. I even had a crash today too. Again, same deal. Is the whole object limit has been exceeded, placing one object in one object, and it even shows the object limit, which is 2.1 million. And I definitely do not have 2.1 million in my world. Even if I was to take my entire object limit there from Satisfactory Calculator and double the amount, I still do not have 2.1 million. Taking that and then doubling it, I have around 600,000. With the original object limit being almost 400. So we'll say 800,000, maybe a million. If you want to go that route, we can say, well, maybe it's a million. That's being very, very generous to the number. I still have not hit the 2.1 million, so about halfway through, if that happens to be the case. So yeah, it's just one of those things. I might have to make these 1 meter right here. That's also why I haven't filled in this hole yet. So wasn't quite sure about the whole deal. And what we'll do is we'll go one there and one here. And then logistics, we'll throw up a floor or a wall hole right there, and right there. That'll just be something to connect to, because we're definitely not going to be producing a whole, like, more than one belt of motors. That's that's not going to happen. Definitely not. Okay. Now we'll just put that there. Alright. Okay, how far can I go with this? Okay, not that far. Alright. Now I want them to stay underground as much as possible, so we'll hit the H key here and go down a bit. Oh, don't give me that. Don't give me that. Surface is too uneven. Where can I put it? That's what he said. Oh dear. Sorry, I had to. I didn't have a choice. Oh my gosh, what is this? He's waggling his little tail. That's not supposed to do that. Oh boy. There we go. Yeah, don't worry about it going through the rock. I'm not going to worry about it, so you guys shouldn't either. Because I'm just going to bury this. Okay, so we should be able to connect, yep, to the other side, and then... Okay, I might have to temporarily connect that. There we go. Oops, I had that going the wrong way. There, now it'll work. Just do default. Okay. So there's our import, and then we'll just that. Now we can go ahead and fill this in. Put that there. Perfect. I kind of want to do... Well, if I do a half-meter foundation, it'll work. So I kind of want to put a half-meter in here. There we are. Alright. So that solves for that. Now these particular belts, what I might do is I might go over the tracks. But yeah, we're gonna have one singular bridge that goes over, or we could have them all combine right here. We do a bit of this kind of architecture. We'll do just do full foundation there. Okay, and then we do a... Let's see, when we were designing that bridge, we did a dual wide, didn't we? Yeah. A double wide. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, okay. Actually, it'd be better to do it, like, here. This is more in the middle anyway. Plus this will allow us to create... Or should we do it over here, actually? This is the shortest distance across there. The motor factory is going to be kind of at a weird angle. Actually, yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. Do the short... Because bridges always try to span the shortest gap. If they're trying to get across a canyon or something... They always try to do the shortest to be the, you know, so that the bridge is the cheapest it can be. So yeah, if I do that, give that a nice solid foundation there. There's a little bit of rock in our foundation, but that's okay. And then, yeah, what we'll do is we'll put walls along here to try and get the belts over to this point. I do like the new wall holes, gotta say. The new wall holes are fantastic. Where did I put? It's near the bottom. I just hope we can nudge these eventually in the future. That would be nice. Okay, so it's probably gonna go there, right? Yeah, the only problem is, well, actually, it's not really a problem per se. I don't need a floor hole, I guess. We'll just put it into the ground. Because I guarantee we're not going to need more than a single belt's worth. Yeah, if I could snap it to it and then nudge it over, that'd be like next level. Okay, so then that puts the floor, or puts the wall hole over here instead. And heck, we don't even need a floor hole since I'm not gonna just remove the foundation, connect up the belt, put the foundation back. Oops. Should probably put that back first. Okay, so there's one. And then this particular one. Ooh. That's gonna be tricky. Can I? Oh, I can snap to it. Okay. So that will work. Alright, and then a wall hole. Be in line with that. Okay. Looks like, yep, I got it straight. Good. Move the wall hole, or the walls there. And that makes it really nice. Makes everything look really good. Okay, crap, I didn't save this color, unfortunately. It'd be nice if you middle click something to copy the color, right? And then what it does is inside your color, inside your custom swatch, it puts the custom swatch there, or has the secondary custom swatch. So you have the set one that you always have set, and then you have the one that when you copy something, it pulls those colors into the thing. That'd be really cool. Don't think that's really all that possible, but you never know. It might be. It might work. It might be cool. Okay. Oh, we do need to. Well, actually, no, we don't. Okay. Yeah, we can make this work. All right. Actually, I don't know what I'm trying to do here. I was about to put a staircase going up. Then now that I think about it, it's just like, oh, that's stupid. What am I thinking? No. Stop that. It's like 4, maybe? And then we'll use this to carry power over as well. I'm gonna have to go 5. It's about the autosave. I better not place anything else. Don't want it to crash during the autosave. You can see it's ever so slowly starting to lag. Just a wee bit more, just a little bit more lag. I'm not really too bothered. If it crashes, it crashes, and then I get the game reset I need anyway. Because in order to stop your game from crashing, you gotta exit, you gotta save, exit the game, and then come back and reload the save to truly reset it. You gotta start a whole new, essentially start a whole new session of game, which you know is fine. But if it crashes, then I get my game reset anyway. So that's why I'm like, I'm not too bothered. Okay, so then over here we're gonna have our staircase right there as well, and we're gonna be merging two different grids. I mean, it's gonna be the same height, but we're gonna be merging two different grids. So, but what I was thinking we could do is we could, since we're going too white here because of the staircase. Let's do 1 meter foundations. Oops. Zoop that across. Zoop that across. Yeah, since with my rail line I took up all the space over here. Plus that wasn't a really good space for factory building anyway. Okay. Zip that across as well. Alright. That makes that look structurally sound. Just gotta get the belts in here. I might have to temporarily put down foundations just to get the belts in place. Okay. What we'll do is we'll remove all of these temporarily. Put our belts in, and then get our staircase in, and then we can work on the foundation over there. Alrighty, so now that we've got that done, got the foundations coming up over here as well, and then we've got this big old thing here. Actually need to move this to here. Okay. We'll have to nudge it over there. No problem. No problemo. Looks like... Oh, I know what's going on. There we go. That'll work. Now we can pull the power down here. Very good. Power. I'm using Mark III stuff because fun. because it's fun, essentially. We'll go all the way down. Go like there, I guess. I don't know how high exactly I want to go with this. So basically these come down this walkway here into that, and then I'm actually going to put these floor holes fakely in here. Just so it completes the look, you guys know. Okay. Yeah, but all the belts go down there and they come up here. I also got this line. This is the coloring I'm going to use for the detail. I think that works much better. It's really weird, the coloring in this area. There's like a... I don't know how to explain it. But it is interesting. Okay. Oh yeah, this will be the kind of detail color. It's like a... It's a very light blue. Very washed out light blue, I guess. But I think that'll work for this area. Doesn't have to be orange like the rest of those. At least I don't think it does. Okay. Oh yeah, and I did set the trains to go as well, so the trains are making the rounds. And yes, they do use that spiral to pick up materials. You can see both factories are probably working their butts off right now. But we should have... Oops. Should have full train stations of rotors and rotors and... Oh, almost. Of rotors and stators. Oh, we got full stators. But the rotors are having issues. Well, the rotors might not... The train station might not have been full by the time I sent the train out. Unlike the rotors, which had ample time to completely fill up. Okay, but so I just kind of put this out here just kind of arbitrarily for now. I need to get the... That's actually the reason I was pulling power. Let's put that there. Okay. I need to get the rotation down. So roughly this, maybe? See how that works. I want it to match, like I said, I want it to match roughly. One more tick to the right instead of the left. So like this. So right about there is where I want that, right? But as you can see, the top of the quad spiral over there. Yeah. Yep, that is a pretty good rotation. Let's pull it out to the wall here. Or to the edge. Okay, let's build. Yep, that follows it perfectly. Alright. So that'll be the angle we go with then. Let's go ahead and select all these. Okay. Yeah, I just don't know exactly how this is going to come into the factory. But there's a reason we're at this height instead of any other height, because you can see, like, this is the tallest point on this ridge here, or on this cliffside. This is the tallest point, and it does ever so slightly clip through, but I decided I wasn't going to do 1 meter since I was doing a staircase as well. It's like, I'll just deal with it, it's fine. Let's remove all this. So what if we did a 5 by 5? Well, actually, I don't know exactly how big it's going to be. I still have no idea. We're going to put down a big old platform, though. Oh, game's starting to lag again. Which means we're running out of memory, essentially. I think that's what that is. I do think it's related to a memory leak. That over time it just hits a critical mass and it just goes nope, and it thinks that and because that happened, it's programmed to tell you that it's caused by going over the object limit. Don't know how true that is, but that's what I think anyway. Again, like I said, this may end up being too big for the area. We shall see. Actually, if I shred off one piece on this side and then add it to this side, just because of where the cliff is. Pretty decent factory. Alright, so then we're going to go special. We're going to add ourselves a blueprinter because we need to blueprint on how to do the the curve. Alrighty, so finally got these 2 blueprints done, and I actually might go over to the if at all possible, I might go over to the copper sheet factory and completely replace it, because this is so much better. This is a much better build. It's much more consistent, as well as we got the lights on here, which look really nice. Now, the reason I did these grooves in here was because I wanted to, you know how if we go and look at the motor, the cooling fins on that motor casing, where's it at? There it is. You can see the cooling fins on this motor casing. That's what I wanted to mimic, essentially. Now, I'm not building a giant motor, just so you know. I'm not building a giant motor, but I'm building something motor-like. That's going to basically go down the length of this this factory here. So yeah, and that's going to be the size of the factory. So it's good. It looks like it's going to be a 5. It's going to be a 5 foundation or 10 foundation by whoever knows how long. You know, looks pretty good. I do like this though. This thing does look pretty nice. It's very clean. And these are the big metal pillars, and I'll show you how I build this in a minute. But after that, that will be the end of the episode, unfortunately. So yeah, we'll go ahead and clear the blueprint designer here. And I'll show you exactly how I built this. Now this build is, like I said, much more clean, much better than that copper sheet factory that we did. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a whole lot of lighting over here. We could do some stage lighting. Organization. Okay. At least we get a... that's fine. Wait for the autosave there. Okay, put these a little bit closer. There you go. Get a bit of we got a bit of stage lighting. If I ever go to do a build like a blueprint building, at some point I will do this kind of stage lighting as well, as we'll have like power lines around the frame and stuff like that. So anyway, so just like we showed before, let's go architecture. Just like we showed before, so this, I'm going to put this one on the edge because it'll be much more consistent. What we're going to do is we're going to put this right on the edge of the blueprinter here, or the blueprint machine. And then we'll go ahead and build this. So it looks like 9 is the correct thing, which does make sense. These are about half a foundation, or these are half a foundation in size, so. Yep, holding control, mouse wheel. Just like that. Alrighty, so, I don't have any music. So once you have this right here, just like that, you can go ahead and remove the centerpieces. It might take a few runs, yeah. Just to remove all of them. And remove these. That one, and that one. And then I'm just going to keep removing until we get to the last. And it also helps if I do a filter. So we're just going to keep removing until we get the last 2, leaving these last 2 pieces on the very outer edge. So yeah, once you've got that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this, and we're going to drag these across, just like this, to show you, just to show you how I did the grooves and stuff like that. So, going to drag these all the way across. Just like that. Okay, so now we have our outer pillars. And then to do the inner wall, what I did was I took this and I went... So I place it on top, and I hit the H key, and then since and you have to do this on 1.1, it cannot be done on 1.0, is we're going to go down with the page down keys, of course. And go 1, 2, and we're going to leave it now, keep it in zoom mode, but for the bottom piece, we're only going to do that one. And then this next one, hit the H key again, go 1, 2, but this time, what you're going to do is you're going to pull it down. So then you get two of these instead of one. So 1, 2, just like that. And you're just going to keep going along once you have your freezed autosave. 1, 2, just like that. HK again, 1, 2, just like that. H key 1. Now, once it does that, then you're going to use the arrow keys to use the regular arrow keys to get that to nudge correctly. Okay, so now you've got that, and then now to do this outer edge, you're going to hit the H key to lock it in place there. And you're just gonna drag it over to where it's in the center. Just like that. Now you can leave these if you like, but I'm going to remove these. Because, I mean, it's going to be a lot harder if you leave them there, but you want to try and remove all of the spokes. We use the spokes to position the pieces to fill in the gaps, essentially. Like that, we're going to remove all those, but try not to remove the other ones. So now you've got your placement, and then you're going to go ahead and drag these over, just like that. Alright, and once you've dragged them all over, you should end up with something like this. You're going to see these little gaps here, but that's okay. It looks pretty good without it. So then you get like that, and then you're going to come to this very outer edge. You're going to once again do that, and you're going to go ahead and delete these. Just this very outer edge. Okay, then just put it in default mode. Yep, and just go along and place them down like that. Now, why am I placing them on the side and not just leaving it pointing outwards? Is because it just looks better when it's like this rather than the other way. They just look so much better like this instead. Plus it does save time when it's like that. Yeah, just it works a lot better like that. And then of course the lighting. So what I used was I went over to organization, there it is. Took my sign. I actually took this sign from over here. So since we're in 1.1, I can aim at the sign. Try and grab, there it is, label sign 4 meter, and then we just place them along just like that. So that's pretty much how I built that. So pretty easy to do. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. Next time we'll actually build the shell, and maybe we'll even have time to start putting machines in. Well, of course we will, but we'll start putting machines in and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be quite a crazy thing. But it'll be nice once the where did my trains go? I don't see any trains running recently. Oh, there it is. Speak of the devil, there's one of them. There's the rotor train. Rotor train's full. Well, the stuff is that's why I got the trains up and going, because I knew it was going to take them a while before things got full, so just wanted to get them to get going first. But yeah, so next time, like I said, we'll build the shell. We'll hopefully get the machines in place. Hopefully we can get this factory up and going next time. That would be awesome. But if we don't, we'll just finish it up next week on Monday. So, But anyway, like I said, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I would like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see here. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.